It just sounds clumsy, and we'll go, well, we're going to record it in an hour and a half. We need to come up with something.
Let's talk a little bit about Just Like Honey, which opens up the album. I would imagine, since this is your first, I guess your first full-length but also major label album, were you trying to make a statement with that song opening up the album?
Probably. I can't be 100% in that, because you're always second guessing yourself when you're thinking back. You know, you have a little raw information, and then there's a lot of guesswork. But I would say we were probably making a statement that you know us for our noise, but here's this. This is something else that we can do.
Is that, based on what you just said, does the title Just Like Honey, was that a reflection of, well, you expected this, but this is sweeter? It's like honey.
Well, honey was the very, very last word written in the song. The song was called, I think it was just like Alice, for like a few months. At first it was called In Her Garden. That part, well, I had written the bulk of the song, and when it came to that part, which is, I guess you could call it the chorus, I couldn't think what to say. I couldn't think what to write. And for a couple of months I was just singing the song, and we never played it live, but I would play it in the bedroom with my acoustic guitar, and I would just sing In Her Garden, and it's like, that doesn't sound right, and I was going, In Her Garden. And then I wrote just like Alice, and I thought, just like Alice, that's nice, just like Alice, but it still didn't feel right, you know. And we went to do this John Peel session down in London. Just Like Alice was one of the songs we were going to do, but me and Jim it just didn't sound right. It was just, that just sounds clumsy, or someone, it just sounds clumsy, and we'll go, well, we're going to record it in an hour and a half. We need to come up with something. And we sat in the court for about 20 minutes before Jim did the vocal, and I said, well, we mentioned honey in the, you know, one of the other verses. Why don't we just make Just Like Honey? And he goes, okay, that's that. And I go, okay, right, Just Like Honey, right, that's that. He goes, right. And then he went into the recording booth, and that was it.
See, there's another example of just, you know, something comes to you at the time and you run with it.
It made perfect sense, but I couldn't see that for months. I just couldn't see it. I had just like, oh, what is it? Just like something. You know, it never happened until the last minute, which, I'll be honest, that's happened to me 1,000 times in this band.
Yeah.
You've got almost nothing until the last minute, bam, then you've got it.
Would you say that you have a typical process with you and your brother, how you write your songs? So, you know, starting from that song, if you can, do you recall when the melody first came to your head, and then the lyrics, it sounded like, followed that a little bit, but do you remember that?
I do. I remember writing the bulk of the song in my bedroom that I shared with Jim in East Kilbride, where we lived just outside Glasgow. And I remember thinking it was a really good song. And sometimes when I write, you know, songs that I think are my best, I'm always suspicious that I've, you know, picked up something. I've picked up somebody else's song. And I remember going around asking my friends and Jim and Bobby and Douglas, like, what is this? And I was like, listen to the girl. And they said, no, it's good. I said, yeah, but who did it originally? And they're going, I don't think anybody. And I'm going, no, you sure? Sounds too good. When you're an artist, you're two things. You're full of ego and you're full of yourself, and you're also completely unsure of yourself as well. You know, you're also like, you're this close to success and this close to failure always.
That's fascinating.
The song turned out not to be somebody else's, thank God. So it was just like Alice for a couple of months until it wasn't.
But did you know that you had something there that was special?
Yeah, that's why I was asking people who wrote this song originally, and nobody could figure it. I do that all the time. It's like when I wrote April Skies, I originally wrote that while imitating Elvis Presley as a joke for my then girlfriend. I was being in the kitchen, and she was walking around, and I was just going, "Hey, honey, what you trying to say?" And she says, "What is that?" And I says, "No, I'm messing around." She said, "Get your tape recorder and record that. That's good." And a lot of time you don't know, and I'm like, "Well, I'm just impersonating Elvis." She goes, "Yeah, but it's good."
That's funny. So your process, it sounds like, is not really a process. Something comes to you.
Yeah, I mean, if you sit down and say, "I'm going to write a song," you probably won't write a song. But if you sit down and say, "I'm going to watch TV while messing around on my guitar and play some chords," there's a good chance you might write a song. You know, it'll come to you. You'll hit 2 chords, and it strikes you. You know, something strikes you. They sound nice, and 10 minutes later you're singing something. That's how it works with me. It's not really planned. It just happens, you know, thankfully.